I'm Karen from Finally Home, and we are here with Mila Cohen from True Dental Care, and we'll be talking about community, being a business owner in your neighborhood, and I guess the expansion of True Dental, but just hearing an insight to the people behind the businesses that we love to support. So Mila, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me on, Karen. This is exciting.
Hi. So I guess the first question that I have for you is, what does this idea for the love of community mean to you? What does community mean within your practice, within your business, and within your family too, right? Mm-hmm. So there's this balance of raising your kids and having a family in the same neighborhood that you have a business. And I'm sure that's ingrained in everything you do.
Totally. So I guess, and I'll hope I'll answer your question correctly, but I guess the sense of community, what it means to me is we are not only serving our community and helping them every day, but we are also living in the community. A lot of people know this, we're very transparent. We live in the same building our office is in. And at first, I thought it would be a little bit of crossing boundaries and things like that, and that idea, but it's been amazing. I mean, we don't mind sharing that at all, that we live where we work, where my daughter goes to school 2 blocks away, and we do all the local parks and events and drop-off programs and everything around us. So that is really important and impactful to us and our family, as well as the people that we work with. I mean, half of our team lives in Jersey City, half commute from very far away. So that also means a lot to me of bringing them into our community. So whether we do a lot of events, we do a lot of team building events once a quarter. So we either travel, or a lot of the times it's the local stuff.
Yeah.
And we get together as a group, and we'll either do the puzzle in Jersey City.
Oh yeah.
What else have we done? We've done the race car
that's
stuff.
fun,
We'll go out to all the restaurants. We go, happy hour, all that, where we'll support them. We might not go out to happy hour with them, but we'll buy them their first drink. So that's what it means, I guess. It's just the collaboration with different people as well in the community. I think that's the beauty of having a business and living in the same community, because a lot of people don't, right? They live somewhere and they travel and get to their place of business, and that's it. It's a very disconnect. There's a huge disconnect. And so, yes, of course, it's helping our business because people are relating to us, and then by nature, they will say, okay, let's, I know them, I might as well go there and try it out. But I think it's also what we can do in the community, what good can we do? Whether it's with our team or supporting other businesses, but getting to know the community that we serve is huge. And how are you going to know that if you don't live there? So I think it's a beautiful thing.
And it holds you guys almost like accountable in a way, like how important your customer service is, your patient service, totally. How you teach that, because then you're seeing these same patients out in the world. Totally. They will find you, and you guys are really making sure that you go above and beyond, I think, to deliver this experience to them, because you're going to be held accountable for it every time that you see them. And so that's a really impressive thing when you run a business like that.
Absolutely. And I think I didn't even think about it that way. It was just natural. I mean, the reason we picked Jersey City, we looked everywhere. Dan and I came here, and I'll give, I guess, a little background story.
Please.
So I'm born in Ukraine, raised in Brooklyn. Dan's born in Johannesburg, raised in Canada. We met in dental school, and we lived in the city. I've lived in Manhattan for 10 years. And then we needed a halfway spot between my residency and his place of work. And we decided Jersey City, because it was literally a halfway spot. And I was like, this is temporary. Like, I'm not going to stay here.
Proximity, right?
Yes,
I joke
exactly.
that seems to be the common thing that bring people here,
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's growing so vastly. So, and I was like, I'm going back to Brooklyn. I mean, I had Dumbo, downtown Brooklyn, in my head as like my passion of place to live. And I didn't even know Jersey City for the first 3 years because I lived in the hospital. And then we worked I was an associate at many offices. I was an associate in a suburban office, in a fee-for-service office, in a Medicaid office, and this, we categorize them that way, in the city and in Brooklyn, and I traveled. I was like a traveling dentist. And then we had this idea to open up our own. It was just going to be mine for the beginning. And then Dan and I decided we'll be, joined, and, we had to overcome that hurdle of being a husband and wife co-owners. And then we just started looking. So we looked in Brooklyn, we looked in Parsippany and Livingston and the city, everywhere. And we're literally, it's like one of those things, you look for treasure that's right under your nose.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it was guts. Like literally looking at the space. And I think we looked maybe at a couple of places, and the zoning was an issue. When we did look at maybe a couple of places in Jersey City, and I literally walked into the space, and it was intuition, and I can't really say anything else. We didn't do any studies, we didn't do any demographic searches. The only thing I knew was there was a daycare downstairs, and I was like, well, they have more resources for demographic studies than I do. They know that this is a spot, and there was just something about it, and by guts, we went for it, and it was the best decision.
100%. And now, I think, how many years have you been in business there?
So in May, it'll be 3 years, and almost to the date, maybe a month and apart, we'll be expanding.
That's what I was going to say, right? So quickly within the first 5 years to expand, and you're almost doubling your space, no?
Doubling our space, correct. We are going from 5 chairs to 10 chairs. I don't know facts, but I think it'll be one of the biggest offices. So I mean, we're already behind. Like we should have done it a while ago, but that's okay.
No, and you need to take the extra time to make sure that you're growing it with intention and thought.
Correct.
And sometimes when you do that growth and you're trying so hard to focus on the experience and the community, you don't want that to get lost. So you definitely were doing it until you kind of had, I think, everything set up.
Correct.
And so I love the idea too that you do pediatric dental.
Pediatric dental.
Sorry, right. Pediatric dental.
I mean, it is a pediatrician of the teeth. So yes, you're correct.
Okay, I'll go with that. Thanks for making me feel better about it. And Dan does adults.
Yes.
And I think that that's a wonderful balance.
Yes.
I guess that way that you guys can also work together and not step on each other's toes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, we literally serve the entire population from age 0, because we do laser treatment for infants, tongue ties, lip ties. So literally from 0 to 100, where Dan does everything from implants to sinus lifts to surgical stuff, but also brings in the cosmetic and the veneers and then the bread and butter of dentistry, which is fillings, root canals, crowns.
Yeah.
We implement technology in our office where we have a 3D printer, and we have a very amazing 3D workflow that is enabling the patient experience, because we're providing services that were maybe before unattainable to most, because they're branded services, and we're able to cut the cost because we do it in-house and make it available to patients. The turnaround is much quicker. I mean, the ability that I didn't know, because Dan was the technology-driven operations, I had no idea, but it served us tremendously and our patients, so it's good.
That's amazing. It's just, I think what you guys do there, I mean, I remember my son getting his cavity drilled there, and I swear I was so nervous. And you had it take, I mean, Eureka, you guys really go above and beyond to make sure that everyone's comfortable, not just the patient, but the families that are there alongside of the patient, which is very, very important.
Correct.
And I just lost my next question for you. Damn it.
It's okay. We talked about community. We talked about the story, why we chose it. We talked about the expansion.
Oh, I got my next question.
Okay.
I'm going to take a second
so
he can cut it. Okay. I wanted to ask you if you, I love that you had this gut intuition, and sometimes it's hard to explain it to people, except for that you need to trust yourself. I think that's a very interesting lesson for other people who are looking to open their own businesses or start their own side thing. But do you have any other advice that you can share for someone who maybe is exploring the idea of opening a business in town? Any business, regardless of what the business, but as having done it yourself? It's a tough one.
It's a tough question because, to answer it, any industry wide, and I guess...
Well, I guess just being a new business owner in Jersey City.
It's all about the community. I mean, it might sound cheesy, but in my gut, one of my guts was because I have lived here for so long, and I've already, had this, it's been already at that point, I've lived in Jersey City, doing the math right, maybe 5 years, and I've already made good networks of friends. We haven't met yet, but I guess it was also like my intuition that if I haven't met the people, I knew I was going to because I related to the city so much.
Yeah.
For me, Jersey City is different for every individual. So for me, I wanted that balance between the city, Brooklyn, and the suburbs. Manhattan, with being a young mom, when I would go there, my nerves would be on edge. There was something, right? As a mom, like you change, and so I knew that wasn't the right place for me. And there was a calling Jersey City, walking the streets, breathing, seeing, breathing, everything, and like seeing the people, even being an observer. I knew there was a calling to be here. That's why we're here. So any person that lives in the city and wants to open up a business in Jersey City, I mean, that's all you really need is knowing that you have the community, you have these people, you are called to be here for some reason.
Yeah.
You can choose to live anywhere on this planet, especially if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, you could literally choose anywhere on the map. So you're here for a reason. I mean, finding the right people and the resources, like Finally Home, I would say just talking to people, just saying the ideas, just talking about the ideas, knowing your sole purpose, knowing that there's a calling for something more. So, and that would be my, gut is that's what it is. Like it's that gut feeling. Nothing that is what you're going to rely on when, sorry, I'll curse, but when shit gets hard, like that's what you rely on.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that's going to get you through the dark periods. And believe me, there's dark periods of being a business owner and doing it. Whether you're doing it alone or with a partner, I mean, there's gonna be that.
Yeah, but you're questioning yourself. You're wondering if you're doing the right thing. I mean, all the time.
Yes, totally. And what you're doing, and then, but you call on the community. So, you reach out to the local neighborhood, either representative or either now just a friend, and say, I just need you to get me through this. Let's go for a drink at our favorite local bar and just hash it out, or just breathe and walk around this. I've literally walked around the city. I would walk into Hamilton Park and I'm like, what am I doing? But I would see those trees and I would feel the vibe and I feel the energy, and that's just what it is. I mean,
your community's behind you in a way and rallying behind you. And then all of a sudden you don't feel alone in the decisions you're making, and you don't feel like, you'll never let them down, right? Because that's your personality.
Yes, exactly.
And so there's that comfort there.
Totally. And like what you said about there's a little pressure in serving your community because you'll see them. And that was a big thing, because I'm like, we've grown a lot and I see everybody everywhere, but it's a beautiful connection. And there is this easy flowing nature, there's no, I don't ever feel that our boundaries are crossed or it's awkward or anything at all. I'm like, I'm gonna step it up, because I am going to see you, or you're gonna talk about it, and I want to be of service to you, not just like the nitty gritty of doing a good job with this procedure, but like white glove service. I want you to feel comfortable. Like it's an anxiety driven business. I mean, I am an anxiety prone patient myself in the chair. So how do we level that down? How do we just connect to the human within our people and our community, just to make it okay.
I think that's amazing, and definitely it feels like that, the way that you guys have set up the place, and just your demeanors and the demeanor of your staff. It's just about everyone's comfort. One of the questions I feel like every time I go is, are you comfortable? Is a very important question that people ask, which I don't know that enough people are just starting there sometimes when you're doing a service like that.
Absolutely, and it starts with the phone call. I'm the last person that they get impressed by. The last person. And the last person is you, and then after me, I'm like the least important part of the puzzle.
Right, it's a receptionist, the person making the appointment, the one greeting them when they come in, the hygienist, you know.
The one saying goodbye and like talking about, you know, uncomfortable things and how do you do it, you know. And so for us, it's not really about us. What Dan and I did was we set up a culture in our office, and that's what we drive to the team. We measure them against our 5 core values every day. Every day we talk about our core values.
And what are your core values?
So, so it's authenticity. Mm-hmm. So True to Not Care is True to Not Care for a reason. Dan and I came up with that name in Israel because we really believe in the authenticity of what we do and who we surround ourselves with, being authentic to each other and our team members, and them being authentic in the group. So very transparent. We're very transparent. We'll say, it's just what we believe in. And being a badass.
Oh, I love that.
My favorite. So it's just being a badass and showing up with your best intentions and owning the day. You know, we have a thing in our office where it's, you know, you're on stage. Like, you know, I come in some days and I'm like, oh my God, my kids killed me this morning. I mean, they took all the energy out of me. How am I going to show up for my people today? Not just my team, but my patients. So it's like, I'm on stage, like I am here. I'm going, persona. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm here to serve. So being your badass, being like giving it all you got, like being proud of yourself at the end of the day. Like, did I have a good impact on someone today? And then one of them is being positive. So that also relates to like being on stage and just being a positive person to your colleagues and the patients and seeing the positive out of things and smiling. We smile a lot. And somebody's like, well, I'm not a natural smile. I'm like, pretend. You're on stage, just smile. Because you're going to have an impact on someone.
And also, like you were saying, if you have that day where you're stressed out about personal life with kids, or you can come in and get energy from the people around you who are positive, who are being authentic, who are smiling. So you're actually helping each other out in that way.
Exactly. Oh, exactly. You nailed it. Another one is empathy. Mm-hmm. So being empathetic, and that's what it relates to the people that walk through the door. So we want you to know that we understand you're in pain, you want to be seen, but you're scared, or whatever it is. We want to empathize, and we want you to feel it through our authentic gestures. And empathetic to your teammates as well. Like all our core values are across the board. And then another one is being innovative. So we believe in systems, but just because it's done this way doesn't matter. That's the way. We don't have a hard set. So I have my teammates coming to me every single day and say, this is how we do things. This is how, but I want to do it this way. And I'm like, yes, I love the innovation. Not just in the technology, but the way we do it. How can we make it better? Just because it's done that way doesn't mean that's the way it has to be done. Yeah. And we push our people to think outside the box.
Yeah. How can you continue to improve? Like never letting, you know, the staff get to a place of like complacency. Correct. No, how can I do better? How can I push forward? How can I improve?
Yes. And innovation with the deliverance of care to our patients. Like we're always looking for how can we increase our services? What can we do exactly for everybody across the board? And then the last one is being a team player. So, you know, we have things that we have to do and we might not necessarily want to do. But how can I show up and be a team player and help the other person that might be running behind, struggling, you know? Because customer service to us is just a given. It's not something we even talk about. It's just, just the air. So how can we like take all those core values and be the best versions of ourselves?